Everyone, this is Mr. Maybury, and today I'm going to teach you how to use Logic Pro X to record a podcast. So this is your assignment. This is 2.11 podcast recording, and today you're specifically going to use your script that you used earlier to do this recording project. Now, if you aren't my student, I'm just doing this for a class. But hey, let's get going. I'm going to use Logic Pro X, but you can use GarageBand very similarly, however you say that word. All right, let's move on. So I'm going to open up Logic Pro X, and I can go to File, and then I'm going to go to New, and all I'm going to do is go to this audio right here, Input 1. Everything should be normal for you. Input device. I'm using an AT2020 USB mic for Audio Technica, but you could always choose something else like the built-in microphone. So if you do the built-in microphone, it's the Mac that we have, which you'll see up here on the screen. This is where the audio is recorded and the camera is, if you're ever using that. But enough of that. So I'm using today the AT2020, but most of you will be using your screen. So I'm going to push create, and then you see I have an audio right here. I'm going to rename this actually by double-clicking and type VOX for Vox. That stands for voice, and that's where most of my voice will stand. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my script out. I'm going to push Command-Tab, and if you hold down Command and continuously pressing Tab, you can go to whatever you want. I have mine under Google Chrome, so if you see this, my gaming music script that I was graciously given permission to by one of my students to use. So here it goes. All right. So you're going to start out with an introduction, obviously. So I'm going to move this screen over so I can click back and forth, and I move this screen over here. And if you want to know how to do that, all you do is you could just take this and you just take it out of the system and then put it somewhere else. So, all right. And you did this. Okay, so I'm going to record my introduction. So my introduction is right here. Hello and welcome to the Game Gurus Gaming Music Podcast. So here it goes. Push record. I'm going to take my metronome out. It doesn't matter that I'm talking right now because I can always edit this. Okay, so here it goes. Hello and welcome to the Game Gurus Gaming Music Podcast. Try to say that 3 times fast. In this podcast, I will talk about music that we use to concentrate or music. So I messed up here, right? So I'm going to do it again. Hello and welcome to the Game Gurus Gaming blah, 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 blah. I'm going to do it again. Hello and welcome to the Game Gurus Gaming Music Podcast. In this podcast, I will talk about music we use to concentrate or music we use to help us get better at certain games. While I talk, I will play music that helps me get into the gaming mood. Now, I know that this might not be for everybody. It helps out me and my friends while we do game. Okay, now I messed up on purpose to show you what you can do. Notice I did 2 clicks right here with a snapping of a finger. Yeah. To let me know where I start again. So I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to trim this down. I'm going to make sure that this is highlighted. The marker is at the place I want to trim it. I'm going to press Command and press T. This trims everything else. I'm going to take this, scroll all the way to the beginning. Hello and welcome to the Game Gurus Gaming Music Podcast. In this podcast, okay, while I talk into the gaming mood. Now I know that this might not be for everybody. It helps out me and my friends while we do game. All right, I'm going to go ahead and trim the rest of it down, delete it, what I don't need, and there you go. Now, I'm going to choose right here, obviously, my music flow writer. So I'm going to go to the website, and I'm going to click on the YouTube converter. Now, make sure MP3 is selected. This will help you find the songs that you need. So if you go to YouTube, now if it doesn't let you go to YouTube up here, just click on this name and then go to sign out, or there's even a way to go to guest, and you can sign in as a guest. So I'm going to look up Flowrider. Spelled it wrong, doesn't matter. It comes up anyway. Now, I always want to make sure, obviously, everything is legit. I don't want to go to the normal music video because sometimes they add little things that you don't want in your recording that goes along with the music video. So I'm just going to go to this one, and I'm going to click on this up here, push Command-C to copy, and then I'm going to, of course, go to the YouTube converter. I don't want to allow this. Command-V, paste, convert to. Now this will come up. You don't have to see this. So this obviously will now start counting up, and then when it's done, it'll come down here. So I already downloaded Katy Perry's thing, so I'm going to go to Show in Finder. There it is right there. I'm going to click over here, push Command-Tab to get it, or I can just move this over and then click on this, and I'm going to bring this over here. Okay. So I'm going to drop it in here, not on top of this, but in a tab itself. So as you saw, I did that. Here it goes, solo it so I can listen to it. I don't want that intro. Here it goes, ready? So I just want the intro here. I'm going to make sure that this is not selected, but this is. Command-T. I'm going to move this somewhere else. And then I'm going to bring it in here. Let's see what happens. Okay, I'm going to bring this over here, and I'm going to put this over here. Okay, watch this now. This is my introduction to my podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Game Gurus Gaming Music Podcast.
Okay, so then I can start in, or I could start in together.
Hello and welcome to the Game Gurus Gaming.
Depends what's up to you. You want to talk, if you're going to talk, you want to make sure that this right here, if I click on this right here, I'm going to make sure that this volume is down. And of course, I can always go to my mixer, and I could do it from there too. If I open the mixer right here, I could bring the sound down off of the, if you look at Katy Perry Fisher, of course I want to name this as something else. Intro music. KP. So remember, not going to intro music KP. I'm going to bring this down a little bit so I can hear myself talk over it. Notice that when I changed it down here, it did it over here too. And notice I can also, if I want to, fade out right here, put a dot here, and just fade out as it goes along.
Music podcast. In this podcast,
that way,
we'll talk about music
watch.
we use to concentrate or music we use to help us get better at certain games.
Okay, so in general, now I could take this bar right here. Oops, Command Z. I'm going to bring this down a little bit. Bring this down a little bit too. And just slightly fade out as we goes along.
Hello and welcome to the...
I want to make sure my vocals are louder than, of course, my background music whenever I'm talking. That's very important to make sure that people would listen. Otherwise, they won't listen and get frustrated that they can't hear you. So, come over here. Let's see if this... Oh, it's done. And I'm going to click on Download File. Now, watch. When I click on this, it'll say Site is blocked. Just exit out of that and click on Download File again. And then Florida, Flowrider, sorry, not Florida. Of course, if you knew the background of this. Anyway, Show in Finder, there it is, right there. Now, I'm going to, of course, if I'm adding in something new, go into a new track. And depending on where it is, you can, of course, cut things up. So watch this. I'm going to get rid of this rest of the Katy Perry. I'm actually going to... do you want to move automation? No, don't move. So this right here, the volume of this one right here, I can mute. Oops. I can mute this if I wanted to. But what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to create another track. New tracks. Audio. I'm going to bring this down here and name this extra not used tracks. That way I don't have to re-input it. I can just do this, mute it, bring it down here, and then forget about it. Now I'm going to shrink this again. Here's Flow Rider. Find the place you want. So listen to it. Find the place that I want to exit out of. All right, so I'm probably going to stop it right here. Bring this down to... Let's bring it down here. Actually, you know what? New track. Just so I have it, I'm going to create a... All right, and I'm going to, of course, bring this one down here. Florida. Mute. Mute. All right, that way I know that these extra files are there if I need them again or if I need to go back. And I don't have to mess around with it. This just saves me time in the future if I mess up something, I need to redo it. Instead of having to redo everything, I can just go down here and pick apart things and, you know, get what I need to have done from it. Okay, anyway, here goes.
And my friends while we do game.
Oh, that flows nice. Okay, so let's bring this in a little bit more right here.
Friends while we do game.
No, we could just make that sooner.
And my friends while we do game.
You see that? I made that say.
It helps out me and my friends while we do game.
I made the word open up the, you know, right here. So it comes immediately after I stop talking. Okay, so.
Hello and welcome to the Game Gurus Gaming Music.
Now, when I want to record later, I'm going to obviously record over here, right? And it doesn't matter where you record. I can mute these or I can just solo this and then I could just do the rest of my recording. Use your script, of course, down here, part 2. When trying to focus, you can use a song like Drip Too Hard to just help blah, blah, blah. And the rest of this, I can just keep on reading my script and put my music in between. Make sure you have all this music labeled. And I know I used Katy Perry instead of using this. I was just showing you an example. You know, if this said Katy Perry and then this said Flow Rider, you know, that's technically what would happen. But you get the point. Use what you want. Make sure if you do change what you're doing, change the script. Change this. And it's always nice to make a copy of this script. If you want to, you feel like you're going to mess things up too bad. I usually don't erase things. If I don't want to use something, I sometimes keep it so I remember what I had in the past. And I would just usually do something like change the font, like a strike through font or something. Okay. So, let's see if I can have that here. Font size. Do clear formatting. Oh. Or I could highlight it like, hey, let's highlight this. Don't do this part, okay? All right, anyway, you get the point. So at the very end, let's say that this was done at the very end. And I was done with everything. I'm just going to record it as if I was doing the outro. All right, here it goes. Oh, I have to unsolo this. Okay. Okay, of course, again, I want to make this go fade out. Bring this over here. Put another dot. Fade out. This is the automation button right here. So I'm going to push record now, right here. You see my voice is bouncing. And if you don't get the right thing with the microphone, you could always go over to, you see I clicked on this and look over here. This is what I'm using. I could go to input 1 or I can go to this and make it stereo, but of course we don't have to use stereo. I'm not using 2 mics where it matters. And for the settings, I can go to settings and do some other things over here, whatever I want. But usually your input one, you know what input you're using because you should have defined it at the beginning. If you did not, then you can find right here. Dum dum dum. Let me look for it real quick. Oh, sorry. You can go to track, or no, it's Logic Pro X, and go to preferences, and then go to audio, and then of course change it again right here to built-in. All right, cool. So anyway, going on from here, I'm going to record my last part. That's right, guys. All right, this was again Mr. Maybury, and I'm out. Thank you for listening. And I could play outro music or whatever. But whatever you do ends. This guy over here, if I zoom out, let's zoom in. Here we go. Bring this guy over and end. That way, when you bounce it down, you know exactly where it ends, right here. Boom. Okay. And then go to File. You're going to bounce. Make sure everything is good here. You double check your automation. And I would go to track. Sorry, that's wrong. Bounce. And project or section. Make sure nothing's. If you do this and bounce it down, then only that will bounce down. You want to make sure nothing is highlighted. Track. No, file. Bounce. Project or section. MP3, not PCM, but make sure this is highlighted. MP3. 160 is good for this project. And I would write ID3 tags because they are fun. And the song title obviously is going to be podcast, right? So I'm going to name this podcast. What was it named, actually? The Gaming Music Script. No, it's the Game Gurus Gaming Music Podcast. Podcast type, gaming music, okay. Gaming music artist. I'm going to put Mr. Mizzle Bizzle, just because I'm cool. Track number 01. You don't have to add the rest of this. Album. You can name your own album if you want. Podcast Maybury. Don't worry about this. Just push OK. And push OK. It's going to ask you where you want to save it. I, of course, save it on desktop. I'm going to name it, of course, my podcast title, Gaming Music Maybury. All right. Now it's going to save on the desktop. Of course, you look around here and figure something else out if you want to, you get the point. I'm going to bounce it down. It's going to bounce. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this up, and since I only have this much, I'm going to, and you can zoom in and out right here too, right? So you can get everything. And I'm going to press Command-Shift-4, and you see these little crosshairs that happen right here. And I'm going to choose what I'm going to show. So here it goes. I can choose everything, or I can choose just the edit window. And I'm going to say this is what I'm turning it right here. Whatever, how long it is. I don't want to get the rest of this, but here it goes. Boom. And then I'm going to go over here. I can move everything out of the way, or I can do my shortcut on the top, like F3 or Command F3. Yeah, Command F3. Find the screenshot. Gaming music screenshot. I can do that, or I can name the podcast title. I probably do, or the assignment title. 2.11 gaming music screenshot. Okay. So now I'm going to turn it in, obviously. And you know how to turn things to Google Classroom, obviously, by now. But you just take it, highlight this, drop it in, highlight this, drop it in, or just upload the way that you need to when you get to the actual thing. It's just that I have a different interface for you because I'm the teacher. However, it will look very similar to this, where you take it and then drop it in, and then take it and drop it in, and go to upload, and then there it is. Okay. Other than that, I think that you're all set. And if you have any questions, feel free always to, contact your teacher and ask them. And there you go. All right. Thank you, guys. I'm going to save this. Have a good day. And yeah, thanks for watching.